In the quiet corners of our world, tucked away in dusty attics, cluttered garages, and the sun-faded tables of weekend yard sales, lie forgotten stories. We've all dreamed of it, haven't we? That one-in-a-million moment of stumbling upon a hidden masterpiece, a piece of history that everyone else overlooked. For most of us, it remains a delightful fantasy. But for one unsuspecting guest on the BBC's beloved Antiques Roadshow, that fantasy erupted into breathtaking reality, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in the most ordinary of places. The setting was as grand as the story that would unfold. The majestic Shuttleworth House in Bedfordshire, its historic halls buzzing with the hopeful energy of countless visitors, each cradling a piece of their past. Among them was a woman with a peculiar heavy lamp, a lamp with a story that began not in an opulent auction house, but on a humble patch of grass at a neighborhood yard sale. Standing before the show's charismatic ceramics expert, Will Farmer, a man whose passion for pottery is infectious, the guest began to recount her tale. It wasn't a story of a cherished family heirloom passed down through generations. It was a story of pure, unadulterated chance. "I bought it in a yard sale on the way back from the station," she began, her voice tinged with the casualness of the memory. This wasn't a planned expedition for antiques. It was an afterthought, a detour on her daily commute. The scene she painted was one of charming neglect. It had been there for about 3 days, she explained. Imagine that. For 3 days, this object sat there, passed over by countless eyes. It had witnessed the ebb and flow of bargain hunters, the packing up and setting out of its fellow forgotten items, until almost nothing remained. On the 3rd day, the Friday, she continued, it was just that, and a piece of a lawnmower left there. A lonely lamp and a stray mechanical part, the last 2 soldiers on a weekend battlefield of forgotten things. Something about its solitary vigil must have spoken to her. Spurred by a whim, she approached the house. So I went in, knocked and asked, "Is it still for sale?" The owner confirmed it was. With a simple, "Right, I'll have that," the deal was done. It was only then, as she tried to lift her new acquisition, that she discovered its surprising nature. "I didn't realize how heavy it was, though," she laughed, hinting at the solid, substantial quality hidden within its quirky form. Will Farmer, his eyes twinkling with the practiced skill of a storyteller building suspense, leaned in. He knew that the price paid is the bedrock of every great roadshow reveal. "So I'm guessing if it had been there for 3 or 4 days, it must have been really expensive then," he queried, a playful, leading tone in his voice. The guest's response was the perfect punchline, delivered with an almost apologetic shrug. "No, it wasn't," she confessed. "It was £10. "Wow!" Will exclaimed, his genuine shock and delight echoing the sentiment that was beginning to ripple through the assembled crowd. A collective chuckle, a murmur of appreciation for a bargain well struck. £10. The price of a couple of fancy coffees, a paperback book, or in this case, a piece of art history in disguise. But what was it about this strange, overlooked lamp that had called to her? It wasn't its potential value. That thought hadn't even crossed her mind. It was something far more personal, more deeply resonant. "It reminded me a lot of things I saw when I was growing up," she shared, her expression softening with nostalgia. "Teachers with ceramic pendants, different sort of coffee mugs, and I just really liked the color." It was a feeling, a connection to a time, a style, an aesthetic that felt like home. She had purchased a memory. For weeks, maybe months, it was simply that, a heavy, colorful, £10 lamp that brought a little bit of nostalgic joy into her home. She had no idea who made it, and frankly, it didn't matter. Until, one day, curiosity took over. As she was cleaning its textured surface, her cloth caught on a small, stamped mark she hadn't noticed before. A single, elegant word, Rook. And it was that name that brought her here, to Shuttleworth House, standing in front of the one man who could unlock its meaning. Will Farmer's professional demeanor shifted into one of profound respect. The name Rook was not just a name. It was a key. Rook, he revealed, letting the name hang in the air for a moment, refers to British artist and studio potter Bernard Rook. For those in the know, the name was electric. Bernard Rook wasn't just a potter. He was a sculptor, an artist who used clay as his medium for creating powerful, elemental forms. Will began to paint a picture of the artist's journey. He started his potting career in 1960 in South London at the studio there.